Hello YouTube makeup lovers. So I have a very exciting video for you guys today. I will be doing a first impression on my brand new Urban Decay Vice palette. This is the latest Vice palette that Urban Decay releases. This is the number 4. Again, it is a limited edition and I'm so excited about it. I haven't even swatched it when I first bought it. I did take a little peek at it just to see it. Excited to share it with you guys today. I will be swatching all the eyeshadows that come in the palette and just kind of give you guys my first impressions. I have to say that I am a huge fan of Urban Decay palettes, and I'm also a huge fan of the Urban Decay Vice palettes. I have all of them pretty much. So this is the latest one in my collection. So let's go ahead and open it right now. This one has like a little case that it comes with, and it looks like this is pretty cool. It kind of reminds me of like Spider-Man or something like that, with all this like silver thing going on. But it does come in a little case, and you can use this as a makeup bag. This is the palette. Love the packaging. It is really funky. It has like this little like iridescent type of colors that goes from purples, pinks to kind of yellowy, then greens and things like that. This is what the packaging looks like. It is a packaging that is definitely breakable, not something that I would want to travel with. What I'm noticing right away is that it is much thinner than the other Urban Decay Vice palettes, which is actually a very good thing. The other ones, or the most of the other ones, are pretty thick. I think maybe the one that got a little bit thinner was the Vice 3, but I still think that the other ones are a lot thicker than this one, so that's a good thing. These are the other Vice palettes. Let me just show you. This is the Vice 1, 2, 3. The 3 got a little bit thinner, and then this is the Vice LTD, and definitely this one has got to be the thinnest one. Here you see the comparison. Actually, it's kind of similar to the 3. I think it's the same size as the 3, or maybe a little bit smaller. I don't know. The 3 is the one on top, and the 4 is this one on the bottom. But if you compare it to the 2, it is a lot thinner than the Vice 2. And there is the Vice 1 on top. So I'm sandwiching the 4 in the middle, and the last one is definitely, I think, the thinnest one. So it's pretty much the same idea as the other one. It has 20 eyeshadows, and this is what the inside of the palette looks like. Once the camera focuses, I'll be able to show you. There we go. Those are the 20 eyeshadows in the new Urban Decay Vice palette. It also has a makeup brush that looks like this. Let's see, it has this on one side and then this one on the other side. It's a double-ended brush. I'm not sure. I think it's the same brush that comes in all the other ones, which is like one of my biggest complaints usually. Yep, it's definitely the same brush one. So my first negative comment is it's the same brush as all the other Vice palettes. So I've complained about that before whenever I do a review for the other Vice palettes, and it's like, why not just put a different type of brush? You know, why the same one, right? Replicate the same brush. So it does have the same one, but these shades just look so beautiful. There's already one that is calling my name right here that is called Flame, and I'm gonna go ahead and swatch these for you first before we continue talking about the palette. Then I am gonna do a little side by side with the other Vice palettes so you kind of see a comparison. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go row by row. So I'm gonna start with the top row. So here is the first row. The very first color down here is called Bones. Next I have Grip. Then I have Deadbeat. Then I have Beat Down. And last is Pandemonium. So these 3 swatched really well. The first 2, I wasn't all that impressed with. I feel like the first color, Bones, would look nice over another color. On its own, I don't know what much it would do. And then the second one, Grip, I don't know, it has some little like shimmer, but not liking that color at all. Here is the second row of the palette starting from this end. This is called Frame. I think that color is great. It's kind of like my MAC Vanilla that I use with every single eyeshadow look that I do, so that's gonna come in nice and handy with this palette. It has, the next one is Fastball, then it's 1985, then it's Underhand, and the last one right here is called Harlot. So that is the second row of eyeshadows. This row I kind of liked a lot more the way it's swatched than the first row. It has really pretty pinky fuchsia toned going into the purpley tones. But again, like I mentioned, this is a good color that it has, because with that color being there, it means that there's a big chance that I can do a full look just with the colors in this palette. So that look is good. I kind of like to be able to have good crease shades, good blending shades, and that is one that I will really like using, just because it's very similar to like a MAC Vanilla. It has a nice little natural tone to it. So here is the third row, starting from this color right here. That is Discreet. The next one over is Grasshopper, which was a really beautiful green color. Next is C-Note. Then we have Arctic, and last is Robbery. This color I really like. Maybe they could have done another color, like maybe like a blue. It does have these 3 greens, so it doesn't really have any blues. It doesn't have one blue, this palette. It does have purples, pinks, greens, and now we're gonna get to the other neutral shades, kind of like an orangey on the 4th row. These did swatch great though, but it has a lot of greens. I don't see me using all those greens, although the Grasshopper one is beautiful. Would love to do a bright green look with that color. This is the last row. The very first one I'm really liking. It's called Bitter. That would be a really great crease color. This color Flame I love. It is a bright color. It is nice and shimmery. Really like it. Will be a beautiful fall color. This one too. These two right here, the very first one is Low, and this one is called Crowbar. I really do not like these colors. They are very chunky, just a touch of the eyeshadow. I can see it's chunky, it's gonna be messy. You can even see there in the swatch how I have all that eyeshadow powder on top and all those shimmery flecks. I just know that it's gonna be sloppy. I mean, I really just don't like those colors at all. And then this last one here is called Delete, another good color. That'll be a nice color to maybe darken the outer corner. So that is a nice dark brown, and I like that. So far, there were 4 colors that were a little bit disappointing, which are the first 2 that I showed, Bones, Grip. Although I think Bones, I think I'm being a little too hard on it. It might look nice over something else, and it might be like a nice little pop on top of another eyeshadow, but on its own, don't think it'll do anything too great. But these 2 right here, the Low and this one, which is called Crowbar, really didn't like. You can already see how the eyeshadow is looking. You see all those flecks. It's gonna be sloppy. But there's tons of eyeshadows here that I would definitely be excited with trying some looks out for. Right away I can tell you it's not gonna be my favorite Vice palette. It doesn't have that many neutrals. I feel like this is the one that has the least neutral colors of any Vice palette, which is okay, because I don't need neutrals. I have a ton of other neutrals. But it's not my favorite Vice palette. It's a really good one. I'm really excited about it, and I'm gonna do some looks with it. I can't wait. By the way, all these eyeshadows are never before seen eyeshadows, so they all are new. Now let me kind of just show you them side by side with the other ones. This is the Vice 4 with the, let me do it like this. This is the 4 with the Vice 1. So this right here is the original Vice palette, and this is the new one. So there you kind of see them side by side. That is the 1 compared to the 4. Now let me show you the 2. So I'm going to try to show you them all as quickly as I can, but these brushes drive me crazy. This is the 2 with the 4 next to it. This is one of the 2 right here, and this one is the 4. There you see the 2 and the 4 next to each other. Here you have the Vice 3 and the Vice 4 next to each other. And this one is the Vice LTD next to the Vice 4. This is the Vice LTD. This one is the Vice 4. I think the Vice LTD is the worst one, which is probably why it was on sale. And it was still available like months after it was released. Oh, also it does have a big fat mirror like all the other ones do, so that always comes in nice and handy. I will definitely be trying out this palette a lot more. I will be doing some looks with it and I'll be able to tell you a little bit more in depth whether I love it or I hate it. But so far, I don't think I'm gonna hate it. It has really beautiful eyeshadows. It has eyeshadows that have great color payoff. It has lots of beautiful pops of color, lots of greens. That hot pink in the middle is really gorgeous, and these purples right here are really nice too. Like I said, it's not my favorite of the Vice palettes. I definitely like number 1 and number 3 better than I like this one, but it's also not the worst. I think the Vice LTD one is probably the worst of all the palettes, but this one is, you know, pretty good. I like it. We'll definitely check it out more. I do wish it had more neutral colors because I love the more neutral colors, but again, like I said, I don't need them. I have tons of neutrals, but it is something that, like, I wouldn't take this on a trip, just this palette. Whereas with the Vice one, I could have done neutral looks with it. I could have done colorful looks with it. This one, I think you're more into the more colorful looks. And then these shades right here that are more matte tones are kind of like shades that will complement those colors, but it's not something that I would do like a bronze look with because I really don't have any colors like that. Love this flame color right here, this like bright orange. Beautiful color for the fall, and this is definitely a great palette for some holiday looks. I think it'll be really great for that. So like I said, I'll keep on checking it out and I will let you know more details about this palette. But so far so good. I'm very excited that I got it. I really hope that you guys found this first impression helpful and that you try out this palette if you are interested. It's not definitely the palette that I would tell you that you definitely need to get, because it's not. If you really want a palette, if you don't have any eyeshadow palettes and you want to invest on a really nice eyeshadow palette, this is definitely not the one that I would tell you to buy. But if you do want something colorful, something new that has come out, this is a nice one, especially if you like greens and purples and pinks. It doesn't have any blues, so if you like blues, again, this isn't the palette for you. But it has a nice different range of shades, which are all brand new shades from the brand Urban Decay. Urban Decay has amazing, amazing eyeshadows. They're one of my favorite eyeshadows out there. So naturally, I had to get the Vice 4 palette. So I hope you had fun watching this video. And as always, I want to say thank you so much for watching Be Lounge Makeup. Bye.